They shoved her forward with laughter still hanging in the air, certain they had already won. The metal gate opened, the warning sign barely noticed, and someone said the words meant to break her spirit. "Get ripped apart, bitch." None of them knew that the dogs waiting inside were not a threat to her. They were the reason she was still standing. Asterisk, what city are you watching from today? If this story resonated with you, hit subscribe for more real stories about extraordinary people. Her name was Captain Mara Voss, though no one at Fort Calder used that name. To them, she was just Voss, the quiet handler who kept her eyes down and spoke only when spoken to. She wore the same dusty uniform as everyone else and ate in silence at the edge of the mess hall. She had been transferred in quietly, without ceremony, without introduction. That was intentional. High Command wanted to see what happened when skill walked into arrogance without rank to protect it. The base was known for its aggression. It trained some of the hardest soldiers in the region, and it also bred the worst kind of pride. Newcomers were tested, sometimes brutally. The K-9 unit was the most feared corner of the compound. The dogs were powerful, disciplined, and trained to respond to precise commands. They were not pets. They were weapons. From the first day, Mara noticed the glances. She noticed the smirks when she corrected a form. She noticed the jokes when she asked for kennel access. A few men took special interest in her silence. They mistook it for weakness. Sergeant Cole was the loudest among them. He had a voice that filled rooms and an ego that demanded attention. He ran drills like punishments and treated authority as a personal crown. When Mara arrived, he decided she would be entertainment. He started small. He assigned her extra duty that was not hers. He questioned her decisions in front of others. He laughed when she passed without reacting. The more she stayed calm, the more it frustrated him. One afternoon, during a K-9 exercise briefing, Mara corrected him. She did it politely, clearly, and with evidence. The room went silent. Cole's face tightened. He did not argue. He smiled. That smile was not relief. It was planning. By nightfall, the rumors had already spread. The quiet handler thought she knew better. The quiet handler needed to be taught a lesson. A few soldiers gathered near the kennels, boredom mixed with cruelty. Cole led the way, confident in the power of fear. Mara followed without resistance. She knew where this was going. She had known from the moment Cole stopped smiling with his eyes. The K-9 pen stood under harsh lights, surrounded by chain link and reinforced steel. Inside, 4 dogs paced with controlled energy. They were Belgian Malinois bred for speed, intelligence, and loyalty. They were trained to engage threats without hesitation. Cole stopped at the gate and turned to the others. He made a show of it. He told them this was how weakness was handled. He said the dogs would teach respect better than any lecture. Mara stood still. Her hands were relaxed at her sides. Her breathing was steady. She did not plead. She did not argue. That unsettled them more than any protest would have. Cole opened the gate. The dogs froze. Their bodies shifted, not toward her, but toward a position of alert. Their ears lifted. Their tails steadied. They recognized her before she said a word. Mara stepped inside. The gate slammed shut behind her, and the laughter rose again, nervous and sharp. Cole waited for chaos. He waited for screams. Instead, Mara spoke. Her voice was calm, firm, and exact. It carried authority that did not need volume. The dogs moved instantly, not to attack, but to heal. 4 powerful animals aligned beside her, eyes locked forward, muscles ready. Silence fell like a dropped weapon. Mara continued, issuing commands in a language only handlers knew, layered with trust and precision. The dogs responded as one, sitting, watching, waiting. They were not just trained by her. They were bonded to her. Cole took a step back. Mara turned to face the gate. Her expression did not change. She did not raise her voice. She did not smile. She said, "Open the gate." No one moved. She repeated it once, sharper now. Open the gate. A private rushed forward and unlocked it. The metal swung wide. Mara walked out with the dogs at her side. They stayed close, disciplined, silent. She stopped in front of Cole. She finally spoke his name. Sergeant Cole, you violate protocol, endanger personnel, and attempted to use military assets for intimidation. You did this on record. He tried to speak. The words tangled in his throat. Mara reached into her pocket and placed a folded document against his chest. Transfer orders. Command seal visible. Rank insignia stamped in ink, not fabric. Captain. The men around them stared, recalculating every word they had ever said to her. Mara continued, still calm. These dogs were trained by me from 8 weeks old. They are certified for high-risk operations. They respond to my voice because I earned their trust. You tried to turn them into a spectacle. She paused, letting that settle. Report to command. Now, Cole did not argue. He could not. The next morning, the base felt different. Whispers replaced laughter. Eyes followed Mara with respect edged by shame. Orders came down swiftly. Cole was relieved of duty pending investigation. The K-9 unit was placed under Mara's direct command. She did not celebrate. She did not lecture. She returned to work. Over the following weeks, discipline improved. Training became precise, purposeful. Fear was replaced with structure. The dogs performed flawlessly. The soldiers learned something harder than tactics. They learned that silence does not mean weakness. They learned that power does not always announce itself. They learned that respect is not taken by force, but earned through control. Mara remained the same, quiet, focused, unmoved by praise or apology. She did not need validation. She had survived worse tests than mockery. On her last day at Fort Calder, she stood by the kennels as the dogs rested. She knelt, meeting each of their eyes, giving them a final command of affection and release. Another handler would take over. The mission was complete. As she walked away, no one laughed. No one doubted. They watched her go with understanding they would not forget. Some lessons come wrapped in fear. Others arrive in silence and leave with truth. What did this story make you feel? Where are you watching from? Subscribe to Soul Relief Stories for more real stories that heal the heart.